the rule of everything that on this day I have to do that or there's going to be some problems. Then that's moved into a vain custom. You know, because it ain't going to stop there. You know, and what happens is you're forced to do it whether you want to or not. That's what vain custom is. It's something that ends up being worthless. A lot of us, we do things, we try to compromise, and when the end comes up, we're like, dang, know what I should have did. Did it anyway, though. And that's the way you're supposed to feel if it's worthless, because if anything makes them smile, it's supposed to be the law of the Lord, like we read in Psalm 144. Happy are they. That's what makes you smile. If you get trust into this process, and it makes you feel like Psalm 144 make you feel you are in the wrong doctrine. If this feels better than this, that's what we're saying, y'all. That's a vain custom. If this feels better than that.
Since a lot of people know it's the truth, but they just don't want to get mocked. That's right. They don't want to get mocked.
Let's read the rest of that, y'all, before we get it. Let's read the rest of that. Start with hit verse 16. No, verse 5 again. Yeah. Verse 5 all the way out.
All right. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, right, but speak not. Right. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Right. Be not afraid of them. Be not what? Be not afraid of them. Okay, go ahead. For they cannot do evil. Right. Neither also is it in them to do good. So we got to be careful, y'all, that we don't say that tree is going to kill your children, or we do things because it can't do it. It cannot do that. That's superstition. That's no more if you step on a crack, you get home your mama back, bro. That's superstition.
The sister asked, was it wrong for her to give her children gifts on that day?
No. Well, what I'm saying is that day don't belong to Christ. What I'm saying, if you give them to the gifts tied to this custom, then you are into vain custom worship on that day. But that day don't belong to them. If you just like, look, let's go to the store, or I got something up here. But when you wrap it up, when you get into the spirit of that, that's that day. We don't want Satan to have that day that you say, look, you're going to get it tomorrow because they doing this today. I want it. The hell with what they doing today. Satan work every day. Right. 365 days a year, he is out to destroy and kill. If you gave it to him yesterday, it may be Halloween or whatever it is. But what we're saying is don't get to the point that where it rides on your conscience. I don't want it to seem like I'm giving my daughter on December the 25th, but I don't want this group to think that I ain't participating. No, once you get into the consciousness of that, then you're taken over by the spirit of that.
You see, my question is, this is me speaking, as a man asking you this question about why, if you feel that you have to give them something new, you know what I'm saying? That say that spirit is just so overwhelming. That you feel right. That's what I'm saying. It's tied to it. If you feel so, like she asked, is it wrong for me to give my children gifts on that day? And you said no.
She didn't say on that day. She said gifts. She said it's wrong for me to give my children.
But if she give them on that day, if it ain't got these practices tied to it, you just giving them a gift like you would do any other day. When do you get to the point that where you have to say, well, Satan controls today, I don't give out gifts today? So when Christ died and healed on the Sabbath day, it's the same thing you saying. When does it stop that you allow something else to supersede unless if
but if you wait on that day to give it to him, then that means you take part in that.
If you wait, if you wait on that day,
you saying I'm waiting on that day, that's
right. If you wait on that day, you know.
But if something just pop up, like you said, like if she's coming in from town or leaving town, I got to give you this on that day. You're not caught up in that spirit.
You're still not caught up in that spirit because if you give it to him wrapped up in a box, then you are in that spirit. The Most High knows the conscience of the heart. Like you say, I'm a judge of the thoughts of the heart. It's where this mindset is at, but like we're saying, you cannot give that day. 25th of Kislev. Understand this, is the feast of dedication. If there's anything else in your mind about what you're doing around that day, that's what we need to be concentrating on, because it's saying the so-called December 25th in Hebrew calendar is the Feast of Dedication. And that's what we coming up on, y'all. But we'll rap about that later. But what I'm saying is that if you have a problem with this, your conscience can't deal with that same day, give it to them the day before. Give it to them a week before.
Well, if you actually going out buying toys to give to your kids, that's participating in that custom, because who goes out and just splurge on toys any day?
Well, I'm saying if you were doing it, that's what we're saying. The custom is to go out and splurge on it. That's what we're saying. If you're doing that, you're doing that. But if today I was laid up and today happened to be December 25th and I told you I was going to get that for you and I go and get it because it's Christmas don't mean I can't go. Do we still go in the store and buy?
But typically no stores are open that day. So if you bought this gift and you know it is for Christmas, because you can't go out today on the humbug and just say I'm going to buy you a gift. So typically if you buy a gift around
now understand this. Now what you're at is how deep does a rabbit hole go? If you go in that bar and drink a beer, somebody's gonna be drunk. That's absolute. But his son ain't gonna be drunk. See, once we start doing that, lumping it in all, and we so concentrated on this day, this is why I'm talking about the custom. We got some days in here that we doing on a daily basis and ain't got a clue that we are practicing this custom every day. This one happens once a year.
If you buy your children gifts every day, December 25th pop up. So you buy your child a gift every day. That's just how simple. That's simple.
I get that, but I'm saying in general, if
she's going into the mindset of society. People don't give somebody gifts. Christmas spirit.
So you could. They don't want them to associate.
Chris, like I got
buying stuff on that day.
Right.
Because like one of my
If this will Paul say, if it's gonna fall to something, if those that know you in the word see you on that day and it's gonna create a problem for them, don't go on that day.
It's for everybody to check themselves. You know really if you really trying to keep Christmas.
Right.
It's just another day and I ran to the store and grabbed me something more. Whatever. You know what you really trying to do. Like, look, I don't celebrate it, but I'm really going to keep it like this on this next day. So it just comes down to your conscience. What are you doing?
So real quick, and we can move on. So like, say my brother, he had kids and their mothers practice Christmas or whatever.
Right.
So he don't. But if he go out and buy Christmas gifts to satisfy her, he's still
partaking in this.
Absolutely.
We ain't saying nothing different. Yeah. He just saying you could be caught in a situation to where you buying a gift and in your mindset, this ain't no Christmas gift. Mama need a cell phone. I'm finna go grab a cell phone.
Right.
And that's what the sister was asking back there. Is it wrong to buy gifts? No, it's not wrong to buy gifts. Don't get caught up in that. That custom right there, because that got to do with buying gifts, wrapping it up, putting it at the tree. You go bow to the tree. You feel me? And on a higher spiritual level, it's people that are witches that know exactly why they do that.
Well, why they
But
do
then
it?
somebody tried to, I really became serious. I knew that we wasn't supposed to celebrate Christmas, so I would just go out and buy my kids Christmas gift, but just give it to them as I bought it, and then tell myself, well, I'm not giving it to them on Christmas, but in reality, I really was.
I was still entertained. It's a spirit.
Right.
Because you still trying to hold on to it. Like, I know the tree wrong, but I'm just going to give you your gifts so you ain't
I
got
give you gifts today, because it ain't December 25th, but I still was doing it.
And that's where it is in the country, y'all, because it don't matter what day you give it on. You give it the day before or the day after, and your mind still is here. Hold it down, y'all. You give it with this mindset the day before, the day after, the week before. If that is still in your mind while you're doing it, it don't mean anything. It's still vain worship because you're trying to circumvent being seen on December the 25th. So it's still with a heart, but that shouldn't block you from going to the store when you feel like going to the store and say, look, I'm going there, boy, you still want them shoes? And then when the Christmas crowd on there, you got a choice to think. Do I want to get involved with that, wait till tomorrow? Or, you know, I'm going to go and get my stuff and come on, get out of that line like we do today. You go to Schnucks today, you go for all those that cook, if you just went to get you some milk or things, you know what's going to be in the store. You know how long the line's going to be. You know that, but if it's something you got to get, you're like, I can't wait till tomorrow to get this baby needs some infamy.
But see, the thing is, like we was talking about, the opposite effect of it is like, I went to the store Wednesday, Because we're not thinking about Thanksgiving. I need to get, you know, a couple of steaks of this, whatever. And then I go to the store, I'm like, what's all these people doing here?
Right. Right.
Can I find a park spot?
Right.
You know, oh, it's the day before that day.
Right.
You know, but you just dip right in, grab what you get, go through the checkout.
Now, you know what somebody gonna say? Hey, boy, you getting them steaks ready for the Lord. You think they ain't gonna say it? They ain't gonna say it. You here on this day, or you getting ready for tomorrow? You're like, what? Tomorrow? You know what tomorrow is. Oh, man. No, so understand that, y'all. It's going to be in like manner. It's going to be at your job. You ain't going to be able to turn to the left or the right and ain't there. And then as soon as somebody say, did you have a good Christmas? Merry Christmas, have a good Christmas. No, I don't celebrate Christmas. Merry Christmas. No, I don't celebrate. No, it's going to be that. You got to figure out, what am I going to say here and keep this moving? All right, now. It's going to be all the way through the door.
They'll say it again after you don't respond.
Hey, but even then, like most people will say that and not know that the satanic group behind a lot of stuff.
Right.
They'll tell you Happy Thanksgiving or Merry Christmas, not knowing what you believe and what you want. I mean, you ain't gotta just come right off and chop and be like, oh, the hell with that, you know. Let's let them know, like, look, you know, I appreciate your sincerity, but I don't even partake in that.
You also know that.
And they're like, why? You know, they get to ask why. Now you can break them off.
That's right.
See, you can be standing in line and you can hear the checker tell the person in front of you, have a happy Thanksgiving. Right. And you step up and you expect it and it don't happen. Right. It's that spirit that's on you that they don't even mention it. And as you bagging your groceries, you hear it say it to this very next person. Yeah. You know, so you don't even have to explain it at times.
A lot of times you can look right in and see the consciousness. There's a certain look you got to have around this time. Always smiling like you're about to swallow your ear. I'm talking about this. It's a spirit. You have to understand they looking jolly. All of this stuff is like this. Everywhere they go,
now listen up.
This. They have Snickers wrapped in the Christmas package, and then they have the regular package. They say if you are partaking in the Snicker eating party, get this package. Plus we're going to give you 20 cents off versus the regular package. So the stores are set up for those who don't get down with it. But the fact remains, if you look at anything like the gifts given on that day and you overlook what you would do on a daily basis, you strain in at a gnat and swallow the camel. This ain't coming back for 364 more days. This one you doing every day, this custom you keep doing that's vain and you looking for it to change, it's vain worship. You doing it 364? No, that's the one we got to get focused on, y'all, and get a handle on it because they become commonplace like skinny jeans.
Bike chains.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at? Let's go to Mark chapter 7, y'all. We're gonna roll on through this, y'all. We got a few more minutes. See, y'all, the rabbit hole gonna run deep in Babylon. Customs are there. Which one of y'all go to the shoe carnival? They got the new LeBron James. It's $300, but they got it on sale for $264. Plus the free socks. And you got the buttons right here. No name. Just a red stripe going around the bottom. Which one you gonna get? Right. So, and guess what's on? This symbol. Nike, the sports guy. I'm putting on my feet. I'm gonna wear these every day. But I'm gonna wear these people out to do this one once a year. I'm gonna get on their head. But this one, this guy, that's cool. I'll walk with him every day. Because, see, what I'll do, I'm walking on him. Right. Right. Long as you walking on them and I don't step on the toe of them. Right now, you gonna beat your nigga. Let's get some Mark chapter 7. The book of Mark, chapter 7. 77 starts.
What verse?
77. Y'all, we're going to understand, y'all, because look, we don't want to say that they're devil worship. We did them same practices. Ask yourself, when I was in the church, was I a devil worshiper, even looking at it like that? Did I consider myself the practice I was doing? Yeah, it was some things, no more than sipping too much whiskey or wine, and I'm caught up I'm in this spirit over here. You look in the mirror and say, I was worshiping the devil. I was doing some things I wasn't supposed to, caught up in the wrong practice. But Satan worship, Satan requires you get out his pamphlet and he say, you go this, lay this on the table. Lay that on the table. Yeah, bring the tree in, all that you find, but what I'm talking about is full well in my heart. This is the devil's day and it's time to give him praise. Versus, I'm caught up in some customs. They get you prepped for the new custom. LeBron James coming out November 15th. Click, that's all the commercials say. Say you on the phone, man, did you hear that dog? You watch the game? Them LeBron's coming out November 15th. Now they've already created a mad dash for you. Not on Black Friday, but November the 15th. We got a mad dash for you fellas. And that's who pushing up this.
There's people that full well know that they worship Satan. Like, I mean, you can look it up on YouTube, Origin of Paganism. There's a high priest witch from the Old Wild Covenant in North Carolina. And they tell you why he do Thanksgiving and Halloween and Christmas on. It's on the highest spiritual level. It's witches that straight observe all these things.
That's right.
We got people that's collateral damage caught up into some of these.
That's what it's called. Tell them again.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage.
Like they just season for the fire before they get dropped into the fire, like you get chicken. You see what I'm saying? So it's just collateral damage because they don't even know that these are vain customs. But people that openly acknowledge Satan are down with a lot of these same customs. So what brother's saying is, it's people that openly acknowledge that. Like when you hear this high priest from the Old and Wild Covenant on YouTube, when you hear him tell you flat out, I don't worship your God can't be found. My customs ain't even found in your book.
Right.
You hear me? I'm down with this, that, and the third.
Right.
So then the brother said, well, how can a pastor get over here and, you know, observe some of these same customs? And he'll laugh, oh, well, you know, I mean, they're just ignorant. They don't know. I mean, they blaspheme us, but no, this is, well, these are customs to my God. Like the Old and Wild COVID. They inhabit Old and Wild, O-L-D-E-N, Wild, W-I-L-D-E, COVID. Covenant, COVID, whatever it is. Like, and he tell you, look, my covenant is ran by a high priest and a high priestess. And going to the origin of Easter, Thanksgiving, C-O-V-E-N, COVID. And there's another video. It's another video by Pagan Life on YouTube, and it's a whole bunch of I'm a heathen pagan, and I celebrate Thanksgiving for this. And the next one came on and said, hi, I'm a heathen pagan. I've been one for 20 years, and I do it for this. So it ain't like we just talking. It's people that openly acknowledge that they are down with this. Right. Our people ain't even connected on that level.
Right. Understand this, like page 225 of Albert Pike, The Instruction. Woo. The Grand Sovereign General of Freemasonry in America, say in his book, The Instruction, when you reach the 30th degree, then you have to acknowledge Lucifer is God. But 29 and down, yeah, keep on doing our part.
Keep on
getting a few gifts. You get that speeding ticket again, the judge gonna let you go. But when you reach this level, now you have to acknowledge Lucifer is God. You have to understand where those gifts are coming from. You need to make a pledge of allegiance to this God, because you are up in this realm now of full worship of this other God. And you got Christian preachers who are part of this fraternity and part of the gospel of Christ. Those two can't well together because they're both accepted practices. This is an accepted practice. Then I'm at 30. Now I got a choice. I can stay at 29 because I'm just still tasting a little bit of this. But if I go to 30, they've already told me I have to denounce Christ.
So as long as you don't go to 30, it's okay to do it?
No. What we're saying is that there's always kindle wood or kindle fire. To get this process, to get all of the 30s, I'm going to have this group right here run economic sales on the people and get them caught up in this part of it. I need these people, but the goal is this. But I need an allegiance of people at this level, because these can flip any time, because economic changes the situation. If you ain't got no money, these feast days don't mean nothing to you. You can't be in that line waiting to bust in there, and you got the rabbit ears. You ain't gonna, what you running up in that for?
He's not saying it's okay if you not acknowledge Lucifer worship. He ain't saying that. He's saying these are vain customs.
Right.
That don't get you nowhere.
That turn into.
It ain't got nothing to do with the kingdom or nothing. And people on a higher level that worship Satan are straight telling you, like, look, this is why we do this. Right. This is why we do. You ain't gonna hear that from Big Mama.
That's right.
Even if you ask Big Mama, we got this Christmas tree up. She gonna be like, well, Jesus is the light of the world. And she's gonna throw it out there like that on Sunday. Right. But you can ask people who are openly acknowledge why you do it. They gonna tell you because of this, that, and the third.
So if they don't know what they're doing,
it's still, I mean, it's still that collateral damage. It's still bad. It's very bad. How do we tell you devil worship? They don't even know because they acknowledge devil worship is no.
But they're gonna tell you right up front to get you to join. This is what we allow. Okay, and you're gonna have a decision to make. You're gonna have a choice right up front. They're not gonna just have you moving in, you know, because we like you. Hey, what's up?
Look,
we like you.
what they gonna tell you is tradition. My mama did it, my mama did it, you did it, why you don't take it from the baby? It's on you to tell the tradition stops right here.
I got something right here. This right here is a fossilized custom by Blue White, and it's going into Albert Pike, and it makes it. It says on July 14, 1889, Pike issued this statement to the 23 Supreme Councils of the Word. That which we must say to the crowd is, we worship a God.
What they say?
We worship a God.
They saying this is the worship of another God. We can acknowledge.
Go ahead. Like we all believe in God. Right. But it is the God that won the doors without superstition.
It is the God that won the doors without superstition. They're saying Christ is superstition. He ain't never been there. Oh, you believe he's pulling on something. No, the one we believe in is without superstition. Go ahead.
To you, sovereign grand inspectors general.
To you, so it's saying the higher ranks. The 29. Probably 20 through 29. If old Israel was here, he'll tell us. So you used to be Israel. Well, wait, know about them higher ranks. Go ahead, brother.
Check this out. It says, to you, sovereign grand inspectors general, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brothers of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. When you be telling the 33rd degree Mason, this is what you repeat to the brothers from the 32nd, 31st, and 30th. Check this out. The Masonic religion should be by all of us initiates of the high degrees maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine.
Do you understand that? Maintain this group, this 32 down, should be maintained in the Luciferian doctrine.
The hierarchies.
The purity of it. Not as Satan and the boogeyman, not as Santa Claus, but as Lucifer, the God of light that gives everything to this world and offered Christ all the kingdoms of the world. That's what we're talking about when you reach this level. Now, them other boys down here playing, trying to get some tickets wiped out in court, we using them as well. But yeah, they get a few tickets out, but they're going to bring us somebody in that we're going to be able to keep because that's what they do. See, still, that's the trade-off. You may give them somebody that they can use that's going to get deeper into it than you ever are. So the trade-off is you get a few tickets wiped away. What say? But like say that like over on the highway. Go ahead.
His statue is still hanging up in D.C.
That's right.
KKK too.
That's right. So y'all understand this? When O came out of that, and he caught a flat on the highway, guess what the first thought? Your brother was gonna pull over if you still remember them signs, them shapes. Oh, stomping like a goat. Them cars flying out of his, pulling his shirt out of his pants. Same thing, you won't play with me, and then quit, and then you want to use the pickup sticker. Yeah, the compass. Satan require worship like I got. Let's finish reading that Bible so we can move on.
It said the Masonic religion should be by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintaining the purity of the Luciferian doctrine.
Right.
If Lucifer were not God,
If he was what?
if Lucifer were not God,
Right.
would the Messiah illuminate him? Yes, he goes on to say the devil's God. It's a General Albert Pike 33rd degree Freemason.
And that's why he said Christ is illuminating him, meaning putting him down. That's why Christ did that, because I'm a God. See, but they have to get to that level. So y'all, what we're saying is don't allow these customs to move you into the level, because Satan don't come. Look, ain't you tired of that little bit of stuff? I got something for you up here. He do it to singers, he do it to dancers. You know it, Dave Chappelle talked about it. Just put on a dress. Dave, you're funny as hell, but a transvestite. That's where the big bucks start rolling in.
They ain't like now.
They ain't like now.
Right.
I'm funny without that.
Right.
Oh well.
What you got on? Then we're going to move on, y'all, because I'm way behind on these scripts. Go ahead.
Everything happened, and I got out of that room. I had a flat on 270 and 170. And the thing with the mason, they said that he had to make a sign, which was a distress sign, that he was getting up. I walked from 170 to 270 over the north and
Giving the sign, y'all. Giving the sign, but they knew. They looked at him and said, no, he's a turn back on us. Keep driving. Let's get some more of this, y'all. Mark chapter 7, y'all. Mark chapter 7.
Any brother that somehow it happens sometimes that some of the brothers who are the main teachers can't make it. And if none of us are here, or any brother that teaches on a regular or rotates in and out, if none of these brothers are here, and like just looking out from this table at the audience, some brothers, what you got to do is just got to step up, and you're just going to have to open up the book and start reading. You know, you start, you know, don't worry about being able to try to teach or break it off if there's nobody here. Just start reading. You know, keep class going. Keep the word going, because the class is going to be taught mainly from the audience anyway. You know, you all going to work together as one body. But just don't be afraid to get up there and just start reading to keep the class going for that day. Because people, you know, you came down here to hear the word, let the word go forth.
That's right. Let's get it. Mark chapter 7, verse 5, we're going to start at. And this is the second witness for Jeremiah 10, learn not the way of the heathen, y'all. And we got to understand that. We got to clearly understand where you at and how you be of the world, but not in the world. You got to learn, you got to perfect that craft, because we're going to be here till Christ comes. So you got to get it down, because once you give up and give in, Christ said, I'm coming like a thief at the night. It may be that time, and that may not be too good for you. Let's get some Mark 7 and 5. Let's get it.
Verse 5. Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, why walk not thy disciples according to the traditions of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands?
So look what the Pharisees are. These are people that's holding the Bible. And the question they're asking, why don't your elders wash their hands like everybody else? This is what he asking Christ. Y'all reading the same Bible, but our elders do this. Let's move.
Verse 6. He answered and said unto them, well have Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites,
right?
As it is written.
See, he said, well have Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites. You're talking about traditions and things to keep that you ain't even doing yourself. Let's read some more.
He answered and said unto them, well have Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their hearts is far from me.
This is why most church people are doing these holidays. They honor with their lips. I love the Lord more than anybody. But they are into these traditions. And he's talking to the Pharisees, which were the church people of that time. It was the leaders and the church groups. This is who he's asking these questions to. Let's read a little bit more.
Verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me.
Howbeit in what?
In vain do they worship.
It's vain worship. It's worship that has no work. Doing this, like you see the priests If this ain't written in what he told Aaron to do beforehand when there was that time, or when Christ say this, Christ said wash the feet. If you wash the hand, then who implemented that?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So this is what he's saying. You bringing this stuff into here and you telling the people this is how they have to clean up themselves. So what happened is now they into fleshly water versus the water of life.
They're enforcing man-made tradition.
Man-made tradition. Like it's the law. You know, you need to do it a lot of times, but they ain't gonna show it to you. Yeah, what that's about? I ain't gonna do it. Look, that's what we do. It does such. And we may do some things down here like slap 5, get a 4-5. If you ain't careful, you'll do it to somebody who don't know what it is. And they're like, what the hell is you doing? You doing this. You know, so that's a custom or a tradition that some Israelites may think that that's what they're supposed to do when they see each other. That's a tradition that we just started up around here. After a while, you just get tired of doing like this. Because you look at a whole list of brothers, you're like, I gotta go through that. Yeah. I got to be at work and ain't too. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Right.
For laying aside the commandments of God, ye hold the tradition of men.
So it says you lay aside the commandments of God. Well, I know what God said, but it's for the heathen. When you say, I know what God said.
That's disregard.
See, that's understanding where they at. Once they at that level, you understand that they're not misunderstood about what this practice is. They love this custom. It makes them feel good at this time. It makes them feel better than what God said makes people feel good. Psalm 144. They say how the reverend do like Halloween. We're gonna have it at the church. We know it's tied to Satan, but we're gonna do it out of the trunk and call it trunk or treat. You think that's gonna make it holy? It is what it is. What you got, bro?
John 13:8 says how can talks about you can't make a clean thing out of it.
Absolutely. You can't change it around no matter how you
Job
speak it up.
14:4 second.
Let's get it, y'all. Read some more of that.
And verse 8. For laying aside the commandments of God, ye hold the traditions of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do. Verse 9. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandments of God.
What they do?
Full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition.
And that's why Hosea 4 says, we're not destroyed for lack of knowledge. See, you can't destroy them because they don't know. You destroy because you don't believe. We're not destroyed for lack of knowledge. It's the knowledge is right there. It's supposed to be reject knowledge. Man, I know, man, but man, you just don't know, man. Man, her lips gonna be mad, man. She gonna have a stroke mouth if I ain't got a gift up in there. Right. So it's personal. Let's get a little bit more of this.
Verse 10.
Go ahead.
For Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother.
Right.
And whoso curses his father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, it is Corbin, that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free.
Well, this is what it's talking about. You're supposed to honor your mother and father until he dead. There's a line you can't never cross with your parents under no circumstances. You have to learn that here on earth, no matter how big it is. And there's a flip side of that, that no matter what they say to you concerning contrary to God's word, you have to respectfully say, no, I can't do that. And your mother would understand that, but there's a line you can't cross. You can't talk to her like y'all was birthed on the same day.
Right.
And ain't nothing in here to tell you that I don't care if they're a maniac. You still can't rise yourself up to that level unless it's talking about the gospel of Christ. That's it. So y'all want to clearly understand that, but what people was doing was giving money to charities. Like say you give some money for, you see your mama getting old. She keep interrupting. I'm tired of changing them habits. Oh, I know what I do. I'll give it to United Way. Because then when I put it at home, this gift I'm paying down. pay and they will take care of her. Yeah, then I go by there and see her every weekend, I promise. Right. So you think that I'm giving this gift and they're taking care of my duty of honoring my mother and father. That's till you dead. You have to do this. Honor thy father and thy mother. The covenants are lifelong covenants that you make. This law you have to do till one of y'all don't breathe out no more. So they were switching that out. So that's what that was mean. I just wanted to pick it up. Let's hit a couple more of these, y'all. I want to talk about, like, we deal with, and I'm going to move through these customs of marriage. Out of the 3 major marriages here on earth, they were in a different tradition. Jacob got married in Laban's country under their tradition. Marriage is universal. This is what we have to understand. If you think you have to go to Jerusalem to be married for the world to recognize that, you don't. Because you have to understand, Jacob got married there, Joseph got married in Egypt. Samson got married to a Philistine woman in their country in Hamathville. All of the ceremonies lasted, when you read Judges 14, and you know, and 1 Samuel, you'll see that the custom was, this is how long you do it. Genesis 19, this is how long it went. And they were in another place. But if you understand that this is the deal, marriage is universal to God. Once, because it's the physical connection. Once I pay my vow, and we make this connection in the bedroom, it don't matter what it's done at. It has to be made public or common knowledge to the people that's around you where you living at. So they won't be pushing up on her, and the women won't be pushing up on him. Unless you allow it. And then you get into violation thing. So y'all, we have to understand that tradition of them customs, you may find yourself in this situation. They do this custom here. You don't have to have a preacher there. He's just a witness for the state. If you don't want to go down there and say, look, this brother my witness and him right there, we want to get married today. They say, okay, here's the paperwork. What's your name? Willie Johnson. Bobo Jackson. And they sign off on that. There's 2 people that know what we need. If anything come to pass, you can contact these 2 people because it's listed in public record. That's just what has to happen in the country. But that don't make, if you do it that way because you went up under the country, that just means you're giving that power right there that when I break it, I got to go back through this route. Either you can go through that route and get the benefits that they are giving, or you can go a different route and say, we're going to do this exactly like the Bible, and we're looking at it like this, but I need to go get a power of attorney so that anything happen to me, this is all handled. But we ain't going to do that because that power's still in your hand. But Jacob went through the whole custom. They was singing, he was hollering too, because what was on his mind? 7 years of work. And it's about to pay off when they get through singing. That was the biggest thing on his mind. That's real. He like 7 years of labor. They can sing, but I know they're going to have to quit singing here shortly. But so y'all, that's what we want to understand about the traditions of marriage. Y'all write these down. So we're going to go to Genesis 29:22. Judges 14:10 is Samson gets married. In the book of Tobit in the land of
Judges 14.
Judges 14:10. In the book of Tobit, chapter 8, verse 17. And Genesis 41:44, when Joseph got married in Egypt. And not only this, he married Pharaoh's daughter.
Genesis chapter 2 is clear.
Adam and Eve, absolutely, the major. So y'all, this is what we want y'all to understand. Just because you don't fight an uphill battle when you get a nation that's going to be throwing these different darts and you blocking things, it's strategy. It's strategy till we get out of this wilderness. This is what a wilderness is. It's a journey to get to the land of what we just read, Psalm 144. That's where we at. We are just in a world wilderness now. We ain't going back to no little small plot of land by Petra, none of that. You are in the wilderness of the world. Because when the Antichrist set up, it's for the whole world. He's dealing with the whole thing. He's just setting up like Christ. In the same position, same area, but call himself, and you got to make that wise choice. What's going to happen? But those are that for marriage, y'all. And then we talk about these other customs, y'all. Fellas, we have to be true to ourselves. Tell them the origin of football, man.
Origin of football?
Yeah.
Women breasts hacked off. sewn together at the end, and the opposite ends with the nipples.
Now,
You say what?
who's having a Super Bowl party this year?
What do you say on that?
Women's breasts were cut off. Native American women's breasts was cut off, and they were sewed the ends together, and the tip, the nipples. I don't want to get too much. But those were the ends of it.
That's why they look like that.
Yeah, they throw it around, catch it, you know.
See, y'all have to understand, all of that was sport or gladiator activity for the sports guy. Nike,
Say it again, so people can hear it.
it was all that practice for was the worship of the gladiator god or the sports god, Nike and Adidas or Adidas or however you want to pronounce it. But these are what that worship for. So this is what you got to be careful of when you go to this custom like this, and you show somebody what Christmas is bad, and they tell you, let me borrow that book from you, and flip a couple pages, and you standing here in a Bears jersey, and a Bears hat cocked ace deuce. And so is this custom any different from this custom?
So it says about football inside the Bible or not?
No, what we're talking about is just origins. What we're talking about is gladiator sport. Its origin is throw an Israelite in a cage with a lion, or you fight to the death. That's where it starts. Basically, it's MMA, but to the death.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So that's gladiator sport. So when it's origin, and you wearing its origin, because the custom of it is sporty, and then that's why we start off in Matthew, judge not, lest you be judged. You can't go to nobody like that and you dressed in this custom unless you're ready to explain it from those terms. Not in condemnation, but do we want to hear some light and understand? But see, that's a fine line. That's where we get to say, well, I'll stop that if you stop wearing them jerseys.
All right.
What's that? Hey,
What else? Let me ask you this then.
Who's all prepared to leave off? Go ahead.
What about baseball? What about soccer?
All of it, because look, 2 tickets, man. I got 2 tickets to the game, man. Look, you got a void voucher. You can get all this, but you know, like you're going to get in this 1 Corinthians 10 next, where he says, if one bid you to a feast, you just got to bid it to a national football level, and you know, the first thing they do before the game gets started is what? Sing the what? And what they ask you to do.
Pledge allegiance.
But see, in conscience sake, by right, it would be better to get out of that verse and sit down, because this creates an atmosphere that somebody gonna holler out after 2 or 3 of them warm Budweiser. Get up and take your hat off, man! Did you hear me? You heard what they said. They're about to play the game. Get up and take your hat off. See, you know that before you go down there with the tickets. You know that this is a part of it, so you got to figure out, how do I deal with this in this situation? Because I got that in the bid before to a feast, I know this going to happen. I can't put it into a point where I'm thinking about, well, I can't stand up before no God. I had the choice to say, no, I don't want to go down there and mess with them gladiator guys. Not today. Or you excuse yourself to the point that where you, the same way if you living in your mama's basement and it's Christmas time. You think you're going up there and go tell her what to do with the tree? And I'm sick of this. I'm just talking to you. We don't do it. You can't do that either. We have to understand, y'all have to understand where we at and how to deal with these things. They have to see the light that they say, I don't want to practice that custom anymore. I always knew something was about it anyway. But y'all, we here. And we have to be fair though across the board. We can't get rid of the tradition that we love and water it down, and the roots are the same. It's just the same when we talk about sin. Is adultery the same as stealing an apple out of somebody's backyard? Is it sin? It's the same way for customs and tradition. Somebody gonna like something. When you women go on them shopping sprees, do y'all go after little birthday purses? Or y'all looking for the customs of the people? Dewey and Burke and who are some of them other people? Coach and all of them. Why? What does it do? Does it make you think?
Make you feel more like a woman?
Do it? That you has a $1,000 purse with 3 cigarette butts and some change? That's your blood? Oh, man. Go ahead, what you got?
Find the origin for that. I know you Google.
Yeah. Let's Google it.
On Wikipedia, on Google.
And
a whole bunch of little links will pop up. You get to read. You'll see.
See, you got to understand, y'all, how to deal with these situations.
Right.
Just like I say, you know before you get there. That's 1 Corinthians 10, y'all. I just want to go there, y'all. We got 2 more scriptures. We're going to get out of here. And we just want y'all, because Paul is throwing this out here, and a lot of people think, well, Paul is telling us to partake. Paul not telling you to partake. Paul telling you to be conscious about the decisions you make.
Observe.
Observe. Look, when you go to a job, don't they say 8 paid holidays? Do any of them come out of the Bible? They say we're going to give you a gift and you ain't even got to come to work. 1 day's pay. Do we say, don't you do it? Don't you do it? I'm an Israelite. You give that money to somebody else. No, they ain't going to do that. So y'all, we can play how deep the rabbit hole run all day. But you know you ain't.
Not boy.
Now they say you can take your day off, we ain't gonna block that, but you're gonna use your time.
Got 2 nickels to rub.
That comes out of your pocket. That's your day. Around here we're going with this one. But we'll pay you for it if you choose to. So y'all, we got to really look at our conscience and not be careful of every stumbling block that we throw or lay at somebody's feet, y'all. We just want to be careful of that it's not the judgment on the point, and we ain't look like this first before you do it, and then you can say, well, the reason this like this, bro, let me put it to you like this. I look at this is a shirt. If this car stop, guess what? If I know what it is that's down in that engine, but I don't want to get this dirty and I'm out here on the highway, then that jacket, you're into the customs. You are full well into that this means so much to you versus standing out there on the highway. No, I call June, but he always got grease in his nails. Man, I'm out here on 270. You ain't gonna believe.
Because you're trying to say free.
Let's get some more. What we at? 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
What verse?
And y'all, we got a couple more. We're gonna get out of here. Y'all help yourself some of that juicy stuff over there.
What verse, Dang?
No,
First Corinthians 10, verse 14.
We ain't got nothing but a couple more, y'all.
Wherefore, my dearly beloved.
Here's some pages flipping. Let's get it, y'all.
Type of customs in Babylon.
That's right. And y'all, this is who Peter was dealing with because he's in Corinth. This was a pagan capital. So he's telling the Israelites that I know all y'all can't pick it up and move back to Jerusalem. But y'all that's here, look, if y'all want to be down with Christ faith, this is what y'all going to have to do. You're going to go up against this council. You're going to go this, but you're going to have to stand strong. These things going to come backwards and forward. They're going to take money out of your pocket and kind of twist your arm a little bit. But you got to know what line you can't cross in this kingdom. You can't cross this line. There's a line you can't cross. Every man, woman, and child need to know where that line is within their consciousness. That they know, because that's where it's going to be judged at. It's going to be brought up. That thought process when you was right there. Should or shouldn't. Let's get it.
1 Corinthians 10, verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry.
Flee from what?
Flee from idolatry.
So the Most High say flee from it. And that's mentally first. You have to flee mentally first. Look, we can get taken right back to Jerusalem now, where everybody's saying we want to go. Do they know what's going on in Jerusalem? Bombs are being thrown over there. So it's not talking about physically fleeing first. It's talking about the mental flee, because no matter where you go on planet Earth, Satan is running something. There ain't no safety zone on this planet that you can go to and they say, this is utopia. This is what the Lord was speaking about. This is Psalm 144. Not on this planet. Let's get it.
15. I speak as to wise men. Judge ye what I say.
What did he say he's speaking to? Wise men. Okay, go ahead.
The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ?
See, every time, whether you know it or not, whenever you do this, this is communion. When you do this, so you have to be careful when you do this. There ain't no other thought process running through your mind. While you got your hand up like this communion, or however we break bread in honor and remembrance of Christ, that's communion. When you do this, you say the bread in the body, but if you holding them up, you're in the backyard somewhere, you got to have this in your mind, what this is about. Let's get some more.
The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ?
Right.
Verse 17, for we being many are one bread and one body. For we are all partakers of that one bread.
Right.
Behold, Israel after the flesh.
Behold, after the what?
The flesh. Are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything.
Paul said, does any of them have any power? Because basically when they offer a sacrifice, you ate that. All of our sacrifices for our sin, when the priest sacrificed that, you ate that. It wasn't just food going to waste. In like manner in Corinth, when they all the pagan deities, everybody brought their meat and they brought it to the priest. But what happened is it started to be so much surplus that they would take the remainder of that and sell it to the market. Like how Snooks and all them, when they get close to that expiration date, guess what they give it to? Aldi's. So you have to understand that same marketplace process. But he's saying just because of that Aldi, don't mean it ain't as good as Snooks got there, as long as it ain't just that them plain birds, you know. Sometimes you get what you pay for. But, you know, in like manner, this is what was happening. Read a little bit more of that.